Hello, I'm Steph from the Canadian Schoolhouse, and we are here this week sharing a little bit about some of the new stuff we have on the site, but most importantly, sharing about schooling over the summer. Myself, I've always kind of done that. I've never taken the break for, as that public school does in traditionally schooling. But today, we also have Christine here, and Christine is actually part of the Canadian Schoolhouse as well, and she is here for every video we've done. She's always been here, but she's always in the background and nobody gets to see her. So I'm so happy to have you here, Christine, and be able to actually see your lovely face and get you to share all about your homeschooling life as well as we're talking about schooling over the summer. So first, why don't you just share maybe where you are in Canada, and then just about your little kiddos and their ages and what you're doing for your homeschooling life.
Awesome. Yes. So we are in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and I homeschool two boys. They are one just turned 9, and the other one is 4. And I've been homeschooling ever since. They showed an interest, ready to learn, and yeah, we don't stop either. Learning happens all the year through.
Mm-hmm. It always seemed, and I remember that just myself going through public school, that it's like you almost spend that first month back to school in September kind of relearning things and kind of getting the brain kicked into gear. So that's definitely where I come from. Like I just never saw a point to take a break. I think there was a reason, and more so for, you know, what people were doing on the land and what families were doing, right? And back at a time when it really mattered. I'd heard there's things about, you know, air conditioning in the schools all summer, like it would be all hot. And I mean, I don't know what's really truth or not, but it just doesn't seem right to not learn all year long. And just me personally, I do learn all year long. I always love learning stuff, and I couldn't imagine just like stopping and then starting again. Maybe it's like a little bit my own routine. I'm not I am not like the typical homeschooler. I have a
Mhm.
passion for it, and I wanted to do it even before my kids were born. My husband and I made that decision, but it wasn't something that um, it's not something that comes easy to me, the routine part, right? I love to fly by the seat of my pants, as we like to say, right? So doing the homeschooling thing certainly is not natural. So that's for all you people out there watching that think, I could never homeschool. Like if I can homeschool and I can be with my kids all day and I can do that routine, then I know anybody can do it, right? So, and I also want to share, and I don't know how often I've shared it, but since you shared about your kids too, I have been homeschooling. As I just said, I like to say I've been homeschooling since birth. I've been teaching them since birth, right?
Yeah.
But my boys are now 9 and sorry, they're 10. I got cut off by your one guy just turned 9.
They're
So I
very
got a
close.
10-year-old and yeah, 10 and 13 is my oldest one. Actually, that's not my oldest one. I have a 26-year-old, which I did not homeschool except for 1 year, and it was really his difficulty in school and what I dealt with through school. So I homeschooled him for his grade 6 year, went back to school in grade 7, and then he did the high school thing, well, starting in grade 9, right? So it was really my experience with him and the really poor education he got. As somebody that did not fit that mold, he got a really poor education. He anyway, I won't go into the details for this video because we're not on that topic, but that's just a little bit my background on where I come from and homeschooling and where my passion lies, because that rigid school system is certainly not for even the best of learners, let alone the ones that are not in that masses amount, right? The ones that don't learn the way that school does. Um, so why don't you share a little bit about your schooling through the summer? Why do you think, I guess share a little bit about why you think, maybe it's the same reasons as me, but I know there's I've heard lots of different reasons why people feel compelled to do that, because it's really nice to take a long break too.
It is. And I mean, we'll talk more about this as we go throughout this time, but I have sort of the best of both worlds. I've also been in the public school system for a few years as an educational assistant. and a teacher at home. So, but in both cases, I mean, you spend September to June, working with the kids, and you struggle, and then you at the end of the year, hooray, we did it. We learned whatever subject it was, and then we get to September, ready to move on to the next subject or topic or whatever, and they've got this blank look on their eyes, like, my brain hasn't been working for the last 2 months. What you want me to what? And it's like, no, I don't want to start all. So as you were saying before, it's like a whole month almost, sometimes, just reviewing and getting into the habit of making that brain work again. And it's frustrating when we got all this stuff to do and you can't get there yet. So that was my personal decision, to just keep it going and keep those wheels turning at a more relaxed pace, of course, because it is summer. Who wants to give up summer altogether? And yeah, so that's what we do. So when September comes, we're not stuck and going, oh, I don't feel like it. Because even, as a teacher too, you don't feel like getting into the emotions either when you've been off for 2 months
that way for me.
or so, so it's good for everybody.
Yeah, I agree. And it allows, so then you feel good, like it really, and it seems like most people are like that, and that we're taking breaks. Like I'll take a week off, and the boys often go to their grandparents, and they'll go there for a week or two, and there's other family in that area, so they're visiting around a lot. And there sometimes we just take random weeks off. I've got a move coming soon, so I'm probably going to take a good couple of weeks off of anything regular. I might tell them to go and do some of their easy stuff, but I'm certainly not going to do anything much in that area. So it's just like it allows for your family life to happen, right? And you still get that learning in, and not getting out of the habit of learning for both parent and child, right?
Exactly.
It's a big change there. So, but and you said that as well, like more to relaxed pace, and that's completely what it is, relaxed pace, and doing a lot of different stuff, because we get to go outside more, and well, at least for us anyway, we're definitely outside more. I know some people that like to be outside a lot in the winter and that too, and that's great, but that's not where we are right now. Maybe one year. So in the summertime, we've got so much. I mean, our gardens are growing and plants are growing. Like we just had, and I was going to include that on a picture, but it was on Saturday, I think, and we were outside doing all kinds of stuff, and it was like the nature was just popping out of everywhere. So my husband was doing a bit of digging at the back, and he unearthed like the teeniest, tiniest little painted turtle.
Oh.
Like I would have thought it would have just been born, but with that, like they're generally, it's not really born, right, hatched, but they hatch out in the summer. So I'm thinking this little guy must have hatched out last year, and he's just been like there in the dirt, the burrowed down, but
wow.
With that thing, we have learned so much about turtles, and we actually kept them. So we have, see, Dom's bringing them right now. We are going to put him back into the wild, but we really wanted to observe him. So, oh my goodness, he's like, so where's my camera? So there's our little painted turtle, and we call him Nebby. And
that's adorable.
Is it going to focus in there? Oh, just the most adorable little thing, really. And he doesn't. So we have him in there, and we've been learning so much about their habitat and about their food, and trying to get the right stuff in there, learning about turtles basking and their growth rate and their life, their life. Like we've just been learning everything about turtles, because and not just because I'm saying, let's learn about it, but we find that information because now we have a real purpose to do it. We also saw the other picture I was going to do, was we saw a small milk snake, and at first we just saw the milk snake because it really has noticeable patterns. Actually, my cat noticed it first, and I wondered, what is she doing over there? What is he doing over there? And so I went over and saw this fairly small for a milk snake. And then it actually took a little while. I realized it's a constrictor snake. I never knew this one was a constrictor, but much too small to constrict humans or anything like that. But that's how it kills its prey. And it was constricting another snake. It was a red-bellied snake.
Wow.
So here was this milk snake had wrapped itself around the body of the red-bellied milk snake, which was pretty awesome. So again, that sent us on a little adventure of learning more about, you know, the snakes and a little bit about their life, because that was like news to me of being a constrictor. Just the cutest little snakes, though. Even though it was constricting that other snake and like really squeezing it hard, I thought it was still pretty cute.
But that's nature live happening right in front of you. It's just you don't need a documentary to watch anything.
Right. It doesn't need to be part of this curriculum. It's just you grab that opportunity when it comes, and that's how our kids learn more. I mean, of course, we have that stuff we go through, right? The regular, you know, learn this part of math and then this part and then this part. But really, I find stuff like that, science-based stuff, and even stuff like geography, history-based, we really just are able to find lots of stuff that's already involved in our life, and especially during the summer, really seems to just offer lots of opportunity for that. So now one of the things we're going to show here today is a video. So a video that I just did this morning. Actually, my son really did it, Dominic, and I videoed him. But this is making sidewalk chalk. So I never knew you could really make sidewalk chalk. It's pretty basic. I've just used so we have this on our website, and maybe you can, it looks like you're doing that, Christine, popping that link in there to the article on the website that shares about sidewalk chalk, about how to make sidewalk chalk at home. Pretty basic ingredients. We just use cornstarch and water, but there's also an option to use plaster of Paris. So I will get plaster of Paris eventually, and then we can kind of compare how that works together. I'll admit we live out in the country, and there's not a lot of paved area where we can use chalk. Certainly no sidewalks. But we so I made a couple things of these, and I just made it today, and it's got a cure for a day. But I'm going to show you this little video, and I'll let you put that on, Christine, and you can just watch it. It's only about 2 minutes, but it just kind of goes through the really easy process of making this very basic recipe of sidewalk chalk. Yes, you can see the mosquito tried to take all the activity in that video there.
That was
There's
so cute.
mosquitoes around there. It's almost like he had a part in the play, just on screen and off screen. So we'll see how that turns out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to post on this video that we have I'll post it on the Facebook where it is. Although we will have this both on Facebook and YouTube, depending where you're watching this. And I'm going to post about my results of that. And then hopefully I'll get that plaster of Paris soon and get to compare and see what that is. But I would love, if you have ever done sidewalk chalk and you're watching this, if you can put in some tips in there and some ideas that you've had and compare it to our recipe here. If you have any ways we can change it or do something, other ways to make sidewalk chalk. Not only would we love to see it in our comments in Facebook, but we would love to be able to update the article on the site as well with any other sidewalk chalk making tips, because that's awesome that you can just make something like that so easily at home. And even though plaster of Paris may not be your normal, something everybody has around their house, it's pretty easy to get. So it's a great opportunity to do a little DIY, actually, I love in that article, and Kristen wrote that article, I believe, for the site there, right? So she added, and we love to do that, be able to add links that just continues the learning. So you saw I have my son doing that, doing all the mixing there, and I was videoing it. But did you see I made those natural food colorings? So instead of buying food coloring, you can actually make it. Turmeric makes it pretty yellow. Yellow from my research, although it looks more orange there in that picture. Blueberries, great. Beets is another great great way to get color. As anybody can tell that has beets for supper, it's like, wow, that really does stain the skin for a little while. So we've got all these natural things that God already put all around us for food coloring. We don't need to go out and buy it. We just need to quickly whip up something ourselves. So that was like some of the really fun stuff that I got from our newly published content on our theme of schooling through the summer. So Christine, though, I know you've written a few different articles for this, even that we published. It doesn't have to be just on the theme, but why don't you let us know a little bit about what you can share for schooling through the summer, whether it's for articles or just your own life with your family that you can share.
Well, yeah, I mean, it just pretty much everything that I put on this article that I'll put in the comments after I'm done talking. But it's just yes, we want to have fun because the great weather is here and we've been waiting all year for it. So you want to definitely get outside and enjoy that. But to keep the brain going, you want to keep light subjects. Put the history books aside. You could put the big heavy duty science ones aside, and you want to just apply things like math into the everyday things that you do, and so that you don't have to think about it. It's not stuff that you're going to be pulling out a lesson plan, and you're not going to be doing these worksheets or anything like that, but it's just as they play, as you go throughout your day, it's where you can put in just little learning tidbits here and there and just get them going that way. I'm just going to check to see that we have any comments.
And I just put that link to Schooling Through the Summer in the comments there, Christine.
Okay. So, I mean, I can go through what I've got here. The first thing is like reading. Reading is one of the easiest ways you can keep, their brain, their imagination going. It doesn't have to be like a textbook. Obviously, these are read alouds that you can do, or like I said, a reading basket, where you just put a variety of things that they can do, and it's not very long reading. It's very short little things. So like a poetry book could be one, just a book about art, a book on musicians, composers, just to learn something new. And every day you set some time A lot of homeschoolers have what they call a morning basket. So this is sort of similar. And you can make your reading basket to what you want it, really. I mean, you can also throw some activities in there too. Little things that will take like 5 minutes just to have some quiet time throughout the day, because believe me, the kids, they need, and you as a parent need a few moments every day, because days can get pretty busy and crazy. And so yeah, you can choose to do it in the mornings, you can choose it in the afternoons, which is usually when my guys kind of tend to slow down and be like, okay, can we just sit for a few minutes? I'll here, read something. And another thing too, you can do journal writing. So again, practicing your penmanship skills. Just set it aside as a summer journal. So whatever you do every day, take a moment and sort of like a diary just for the summer. It's something special, so that it's something they look forward to, right? So and then you document everything that you do, like, oh, we went to the park today and we did this, or we went to see grandma today. Just little things. Again, you keep it nice and short, and they're not writing any essays. That's going to take them hours. And at the end of the year, they can share their favorite part, and then they have it, right? Everything's in their little journal, in their little book. You can actually make a little special book and have them color it and stuff like that. And then they can present. So, at the end of summer, like, well, so what was your favorite part of summer? So they can open it up and say, well, actually, when we went to visit this was so much fun. And so they're presenting what they learned and what they enjoyed about summer. So again, you're still, what's the word I'm looking for? Being able to, the words escaping me, but just to present what they learned.
I love that journaling idea, which I've done on and off with the boys. But even as you say that, I'm like, it just like a little light bulb went off in my head. It's like, oh, that's perfect for writing. And I usually have them do like, they do have a time of handwriting, right? Practicing their penmanship. Right. And they've been just taking random verses. I just say, just take whatever, take four verses out of the Bible and just copy them out. But yeah, that's like such a great idea. And to really, as part of their handwriting, they'll probably like that better. But because they really like writing about, I even thought how Dominic would have already probably had like 5 pages full with this snake and Nebby, our little temporary pet turtle, right? Like he would have just filled that in and like, oh, can we take a picture of him? And he would have put pictures in there. And like, that is so excellent to just have it as like the summer journal instead of what I've sometimes got overwhelmed with, is because I love that, like in that Charlotte Mason approach especially is common with that, to have a nature nature notebook, right? To have that nature, and that's mostly what we've done on and off. But I love that and I'm gonna totally take that. So call me on that one. Ask me about, hey, how's that journal going for your boys?
I will.
Keep me accountable.
Well, and it's funny you mentioned the nature study. So like another thing you can do, and sort of the journaling sort of ties in with it, is that you can choose a unit study to just focus on all summer long. And nature is obviously like the perfect thing to do for summer. Because there's animals to experience, there's plants to watch grow and study and stuff like that. And there's so many unit studies out there based on what you can do, and you use science, you use art, and again you use writing. It's the perfect thing to do. And I mean, you can do not just nature studies, you can do subjects that maybe your kids were interested throughout the year, but you didn't have time to squeeze it in the actual your schedule from September to June. But for example, my kids are obsessed with dinosaurs, but it didn't kind of fit into the regular scheme of things. But hey, look, I found a dinosaurs and the Bible course, and It was perfect. We just, took our time through it and they loved it. And it was, again, when you do something that they like and they choose, like there's so much more into it rather than you just putting something on them sometimes. But yeah, summer is the perfect time to do a unit study together as a whole family. So you're not doing individual stuff, you just do it together as a family.
All right. Well, do you have one more? Let's share one more in this video.
Yeah.
One more little
Well, my favorite
summer learning tip
is to do a book to movie marathon. So, like, I personally love reading a book. So I don't know about anybody else, but watching some of my books come to life on screen is I don't know what the word is. It's just so wow sometimes, just because it's like, yeah, that's exactly how I pictured it, just to watch it come alive. And so but I always recommend, if you're going to watch a movie and there is a book, please read the book first. Don't watch the movie and then read the book, because they always change it, because they only have a certain amount of time to put all of this stuff in. But pick a series that is interesting to everybody. Like the Chronicles of Narnia is a great series to do, and they've got 3 movies out now. And so, like, you take your time. I mean, obviously it depends on the ages of your kids and what they can handle, so you can maybe pick a smaller series, smaller books, and see if there's a movie or something on it, and then you just watch it and you pop the popcorn, make a big deal about it, have snacks, make a big movie night, and have fun with it. And some people like to watch movies out in their backyard. They make their little makeshift screens, and have a nice summer party at nighttime.
Yeah, I like that too, where you can kind of how you talked about that comparison of the movie to the book, because they do always change it, and sometimes they even put stuff in. Hey, I don't remember that being in the book. Was it all? And then it really allows for a conversation, right, with everybody, like, oh, do you remember seeing that in the movie? Or wow, they took out that scene with, you mentioned Chronicles of Narnia, which we watched 2 of the movies. You said there's 3 out, eh? I don't think I even have the other one.
The Dawn Treader was
down
the
there
last
now, but
we're
okay. Yeah, so we are going through that series in the book, and trying to read the book first. Although we kind of cheated on the last one. I think we read like 3/4 of the book, and then it's like, oh, look, they have the movies, and on the Disney app, right, they're all on there. So I'm like, oh, they have these movies here. So I didn't really, although I knew there was movies out, like I didn't have it right handy. So then we kind of watched the movie 3/4 of the way through, and I will admit that it sort of made the reading the book less. Like, really, the boys weren't as interested in reading the book as much. And I mean, I would read it out loud, right? It would just be a time when I always kind of have a book like that. Like, I read it out loud, and they're kind of listening. And again, offers that opportunity for us all to talk about the story at hand, because we're all experiencing it together.
Yeah, and I mean,
it's great to do it with a movie too.
The one time I did that mistake by watching the movie and then reading the book, I actually started arguing with the book. I'm like, that's not how it happened. And I'm like, who am I to argue with C.S. Lewis? Like, this is no. The movie had it wrong. I mean, they changed it. It worked. The movie was great. But so then you start. So yeah, read the book first.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we are going to wrap up our video for this week. In 2 weeks, though, we are back, and it's actually going to be you and me again, right? Because you have an article. I believe you have already written it, but it's not. No, is it published? Yes, it is. The 5 Senses
should be up there now. Yeah, the scavenger hunt, right?
Yeah. So it is on there. We're if you want to look for it, you can go look for it on our front door page and find it there. But in 2 weeks, we are going to have a live video again, just our regular live videos. And if you've been watching regularly, you might notice we used to have them at 2 o'clock, and now we're having them at 1 o'clock every other Wednesday. So that's when you can catch us live. But of course, luckily, these videos are always available on Facebook and YouTube, so you can catch up on the videos there, and we'll say bye for now. Enjoy your summer, and we'll see you and to share lots about the scavenger hunt that we have. Bye, everyone.